After watching this video, you should be confident in doing your calculations when it comes to your periodic functions graphs. So we're given an example that looks like this, and they've also given us stuff that we have to calculate relating to the graph. So in this time, they've only given us a small portion of the graph which is on the positive side or positive x-axis. Sometimes they can also give you a graph that's going to be on the left hand side, which means now these values are all going to be negative. So you just have to work your way back or work with what you currently have. So we're going to start with the first one. They're saying we have to find the period of the function. So what's a period of a function? So the period is basically the time to complete one cycle. What does a one cycle look like? A one cycle will always look like something like this. We always have a starting point. We can go up, then come down. We can have something like this. We have a starting point. We can go down, then go down. That's a full cycle or one cycle. Anything that's in the middle, that's a half cycle. So basically by now you can see the answer for the first one. That is definitely going to be 4, which is the time to complete one cycle. You can see that we're starting from, remember here we have our 0, the graph goes up, then it comes up, down again this side, then it repeats the same cycle again, then it comes to that side. You see? So we will just say the period of the function for this one is it's 4. You see? And one another thing that you can note or how you can do it is that you check with regards to this dotted line that you have. So if I'm checking this line, I would say it's sitting approximately at somewhere which is 2. So we check where the starting that if we have our f of 0, then what will be our y value? We're going to be having a 2. Then if we get to this side, if we say we have f of 4, what will be our y value? Our y value would be 2. Then if we get to this one, we can say if we have our f of 8, then what would be the y value is equals to 2. So we normally don't pay attention to this one in this side, but we pay attention to these ones. So you would say, what is the difference between this one and this one? It will be 4. The difference between this one and this one, it will still be 4. So that's another way to determine your period. But if you've already done a lot of example and also from the definition itself, you will use the one that says it's a time to complete one cycle. So now they're saying find the amplitude of the function, and we know the formula of the amplitude, that it's half into your maximum value minus your minimum value. So looking at this, what would be your maximum value? Your maximum value will be something along here, which is going to be 11. So you will have your 11 minus your minimum, which is this one. Remember, your maximum value, you check your maximum value exactly on that line that you're having. We have this one here, which is the max. Then we have this one here, which is the minimum. Then we have that 2. This is the same as having your half into this will give us your 9. Then the answer would be 4.5. See? So now we're done with the second one for the amplitude. We move to the third one, which says we must find our f of 3. So how are we going to determine our f of 3? With our f of 3, we can just use a ruler to read up, and if you go up you would see that you're getting your 11. So you can just say this one would be your 11, which was easy to read. Same when it comes to your f of 7. If you were to find your f of 7, you would still say it's 11 since it's just clear to read. Then now they tell you to find your f of 31. So because I don't have enough space, I'm just gonna rub this one and do the last two on the space that I have. So they tell us to find f of 31. Then how are we going to do this? We're going to do this using the help of our period. So if you are having a bigger number and you're trying to find the value for that number, you can either work going up or you can either work going down. What do I mean by this? If I'm looking at my graph like this, my 31, I would say it's somewhere far there because I only have my graph from 0 to 8. Then it means if this graph was going to be extended, it was going to be looking like something. Even here we have 8, it was gonna go up, then come this side, then it's going to be 12, then it goes up and down, it's going to be 16. So it has to be at least somewhere around that 31. But in this problem, we don't have that side of that graph. So what are we going to do? We can reduce this 31. How are we reducing it? So let's just say now we have f of 31 and we're trying to work this out. So we can reduce the period from this number. What was our period? Our period, we agreed that it's 4. So if you say 31 minus 4, you're going to get your 27. Then you have your 27 minus 4, then you're going to get your 23. Then your 23 minus 4, you get your 19. Then your 19 minus 4, you get your 15. Your 15 minus 4, then you get your 11. So each and every time you're calculating these values, you check if you don't have these values here. Then you see 11 is still this side. Then you'll say your 11 minus 4, this gives you 7. And 7 is definitely here. You can read it. Then you know f of 31 is going to be 11. But we do agree that this method will actually take you long. You see? So as I said, if you are having a number that is on this side of the graph, you work backward to only be able to see what is given for you on the graph. You see, 31 wasn't given, so we work backwards. If you're given values that are on the negative, you work to your right so that you can be on this side. So the quickest way I'm going to introduce is the where you can do your long division. So you can do it the way that we are used to, but the way that I do it like this. So I have my period and I have the value that they want. So first thing that I would do, I would say, okay, 31 divided by 4, it gives me my what? It gives you what? It gives you something like 7.75, but I will only write the 7. And one thing to note, never write those 2 decimal after the number that you'll find. I always leave it like this. So now you see, okay, you have 31 divided by 4, it gives you 7.7, but you only write the one like that, so it's going to be 7. So now what's the second one? You'll say your 7 multiplied by this one, then it's going to give you your 28. Then if you're having this, you go and check what is the remainder. What do I mean by the remainder? You will say, in order to have 31 and I have 28, what number should I add to have this 31? You have 28, it means now you have to add 3. So 3 is your remainder. So basically, if you add your 3 to this 28, you'll still get back to your 31. So now you'll go and say, okay, if I have 3, then that means now I can work out my f of 3. Then if you work out your f of 3, you will see that this one will still give you your 11. Remember, we are working f of 3, but in this question we were supposed to be working f of 31. So we just reduced it. You've seen how we can just do it in 2 ways. So actually here we're just supposed to write it like this. So just that I don't confuse you, you will say f of 31 is equals to f of 3, which is equals to 11. So something like that. So now we have one where we have a negative number, and as I said, you can still do the same. In this one, you have a negative number. Where are the negative numbers? The negative numbers are on the left hand side of your graph. And if you are trying to work backwards, or you only want to work on this portion, it means now you're going to be adding. If I'm adding to this number, it means I'm working to this to the right hand side. So let's just do the long division again with that one. So you will say you still have your 4, then you have your minus 37, then you will say minus 37 divided by 4. This gives you your minus 9.25. But remember, I just said you just take the number as it is, you don't take the 2 decimals after. Then now you will say, what's your minus 9 by 4? Then this gives you your minus 36. Your minus 36. Then what would be your remainder? Your remainder to make what? To make minus 37. So it's going to be minus 1. So it means now if we have minus 36 minus 1, we will have our minus 37. So we got our remainder, but our remainder is what? Do we see it on this graph? We don't, because it's on the left hand side of this graph. It's basically here. So since we are nearby, it means now we can say, okay, we have f of minus 1 plus 4. We're adding that period again, so it means this is going to be f of 3. Then f of 3 is definitely there on the graph, which is visible, which means this is going to be 11. So one thing that I would say is that if you are having numbers that are closer to the graph, rather just add the period or deduct the period to be able to have only the x values that are shown in the graph. You see? So yeah, for instance, if you were given a number like I'm just trying to check. So if you were given a number like your f of 11, it's somewhere there. So now you will see, okay, how you would work this one, which is basically f of your 11 minus 4 for your period. Then this would be the same as having that f of 7. Then you can read it. Then if they say now calculate your f of 0, f of 0, it's seen, it's this one. You're just going to say it's 2. But you see now, if they say do f of 1, it's just tricky for you to read. At most they will just maybe give you these points that are on the line, or this one at the maximum. Like they would say, what is your f of 4, which it will still be 2, something like that. Also your 8, and so on and so on. So remember, If they give you a negative number on the left, you add going to the right to be able to come to this side of the graph and be able to read the value. Then if they give you a number on the right, you work backwards. How do you work backwards? You deduct the period to be able to come back to this portion of the graph, you see. And yeah, that's it. I'll also show you how we do the one in table format. So this question, then they can ask it either in the graph format or in the table format. So in the next video, we're going to be doing an example that shows you how to deal with the table format. So if you found this video useful, please leave it a like and also consider subscribing.